Hey guys, so today we're going to be taking a deep dive into the Arizona Senate race, which is between Krysten Sinema, the Democrat there, and Martha McSally, the Republicans. They're both representatives. I believe that Krysten Sinema, she's the representative for the 8th district. Don't quote me on that, I'm not exactly sure. And I can't seem to see anything here. But anyway, both of them are representatives. One of them is from the 2nd district. I know McSally's from the 2nd district. I think Sinema's from the 8th district. Please don't quote me on that one though. But yeah, very interesting race in the polls. If I have it open and I'm organized. In the polls, Sinema took a very early lead in the earliest polls done. McSally took a slight lead after the primaries, but then Sinema took the lead back again. Then we had a poll showing McSally leading by 6. And then from there on, McSally started to lead. Sinema then started to lead. And then in the final stretch, it seemed like McSally was pulling off a lead because in three out of the last 4 polls, Sinema was losing it to Martha McSally. But yeah, it is. It is a very interesting race, and McSally wound up winning the average of the polls by 1. Sinema actually won by 1.7. So if I can do math, I believe that is a 3.7 or 2.7, something like that. It depends if you count the tie or whatever. But yeah, it was a swing in favor of the Democrats there in the state of Arizona. In the presidential election between Donald J. Trump and Hillary Rodham Clinton, the average polls said that Trump would win by 4. He wound up winning by 3.5, so the polls were pretty spot on there in the state of Arizona between Trump and Clinton there. Another piece of information I want to discuss is the 2012 results compared to 2018 results. So let's just pull those up for you. So the 2012 results, definitely you would give it the lean towards Jeff Flake there. The Democrat won 4 counties, Tucson and something else. Anyway, Democrat won 4 counties, Republicans swept the rest. I believe the Republicans actually won Maricopa County, whereas here the Democrats actually wound up winning Maricopa County, and that was the difference maker. Sinema winning in Maricopa, that was the turning point for Krysten Sinema. Earlier in the night, it seemed that Martha McSally was going to win because Krysten Sinema's margins were not good enough in places like Tucson, but since she was able to win in places like Maricopa County, she was able to win the election. I know that Martha McSally, yes, she ran it up in the rural Arizona, but Sinema won Maricopa, which I believe is where Phoenix is, if I have that geography correct. So, pretty good news for Krysten Sinema compared to the 2012 results. In 2012, I don't know what kind of candidate they ran. Richard Carmona. He was a Democrat, but he was an independent before that, so I'm assuming that he's quite a moderate Democrat. Same thing with Sinema. She's a very moderate Democrat there in the state of Arizona. So in the state of Arizona, you can't say that like the progressives or the moderates are better there, since he was a moderate, he lost, and then Sinema is also moderate, and she won. So you can't really make any big kind of like arguments for or against that part. So we've done talking about 2012. Now let's take a look at 2016, because it's very interesting. I don't know if we can just change this. Sorry, just one sec. Let's see. Okay, here we go. So, in 2016, Trump won Maricopa. He won the election. Clinton didn't run it up in Tucson. That means Trump wins the election, right? But then if we compare it to 2018, I'm so sorry, I'm so disorganized. Let's just find 2018. This one. Compared to 2018. Right, the Democrat, they won Tucson County, won Maricopa County. In 2016, Trump won in Maricopa, and that cost Clinton the election, right? So it does show that Maricopa is a very important one, right? In 2018, Sinema won Maricopa. She won the election in 2012 and 2016. The Republican won Maricopa. They won the election. In fact, we can go back and back, right? 2012, Republican win. You can see Maricopa there is red. Same thing in 2006. Yeah, that doesn't really count since there were no Democrats on the ballot in 2000, right? But the Republican won in 1994. He won Maricopa. Democrat won in Maricopa. He wins. Same thing there. And there, I mean, we can go back and back. See, the Republican wins. Maricopa goes red. So it goes back and back, right? And you can see that Maricopa County is the deciding factor in many of these elections. Now, we're done talking about 2016. Let's talk about the polling, because there's definitely something to be said about the polling here. Polls in the original one, they all showed Sinema leading, right? Right? 2 polls out of the dozens that were taken showed Sinema leading. But then the race tied with a McSally +6, Dem +3, R +2, R +7, Sinema +3, +6, +4, tie McSally +1. There's just so many polls that have a lot of conflicting data, and yeah, the final polls did show McSally pulling away, but Sinema, in the end of the day, was able to actually win this race in a red state like Arizona, which is very impressive, especially for a moderate